Hey you guys, it's Brit. Tonight we're here to talk about David Dobrik being sued by Jeff Wittek for $10 million. I had a few thoughts just from a surface level, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so before we get into this video, full disclaimer for anyone who just came across this video randomly, I'm not an attorney. I don't know a whole lot about laws and legalities and all these kinds of things with lawsuits and stuff. I want to talk about this from a kind of like a moral standard, because I've discussed David before on my channel and I've mentioned Jeff in passing as well. And this is a really big deal. I don't think that we're going to see things like this happening very often. And I also think that it's going to change the YouTube landscape quite a bit. If you want someone who is experienced to hear their point of view, I will link Emily D. Baker's channel in my description box. She is very well seasoned and very intelligent when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I want to talk about it from more of just right is right and wrong is wrong kind of thing, and yeah, talk to you guys about it. So if you guys happen to not know who David Dobrik is, I'm sure most of you do. David is a 25-year-old YouTuber who has a massive channel here on YouTube. He's also got huge presence on pretty much every social media platform that he has an account on, and he got his claim to fame by starting this vlog squad. And I was never a vlog squad watcher, but I definitely know of them and I know of the content, but I wasn't one of those like loyal subscribers that really like that kind of content. But he definitely made his mark on YouTube, and then after the vlog squad, he would like give away Teslas, and he had this like insane house in LA that I think he's still living in, to my knowledge. But it's just like flex culture to the fullest, and there were a lot of really dark things that came out about David and about the things that were going on behind the scenes. Not only the way that he was mistreating people that were involved in his content creation, but also like his alignment with Dirty Dom and things that Dom was in. Y'all probably already know, so I'm not here to give you a whole history lesson, but it's just to say that even though David has a huge platform, his reputation on the platform is also extremely tarnished because of things that he did himself. These aren't conspiracies that came out and people just don't like him for fun. These are really big issues. And so despite his high engagement, he also has a highly tarnished reputation on the internet. And I think that those are very interesting when they kind of coexist. I also think of someone like the LeBrants or Austin McBroom, Catherine McBroom with the Ace family. It's great to have this really big platform, but when your reputation is so tarnished that you're just known as either the scammer or the jerk, or even things that are much more serious with like essay and stuff, the size of your platform doesn't really do anything for you if you can't keep your reputation and your moral compass in check. And that's kind of what I see across the board with other YouTubers. Obviously, some are much worse than others depending on what they do. But this news broke yesterday. Jeff Wittek is suing David Dobrik for the crane accident that David was behind the control operations of this crane in the middle of the lake. They were doing it for a video, and it wasn't a crane, it was technically an excavator, but the article says David Dobrik should have never been behind the controls of a massive excavator. It says here David Dobrik's former friend and collaborator is suing the YouTube star over a near-death stunt that landed him in the hospital in 2020. Jeff Wittek is seeking $10 million in damages to cover the cost of lost wages and earning capacity, as well as hospital bills that he attained as a result of the accident. The Jeff FM podcaster 32 alleged in the lawsuit that Dobrik 25 had been operating an excavator that was placed in the ocean for a stunt in June 2020 and asked his pals to swing from the machine using a rope. And he asked his pals to swing from the machine using a rope while simultaneously riding several objects. And there's a photo of Jeff while in the hospital and also after the hospital, after one of his, procedures was done. I'm not going to show any graphic images or anything. He actually showed the uncensored footage on his Patreon. And I remember when this first happened and he was releasing the videos, I actually joined his Patreon because I was curious to hear the uncut story. Not so much the graphic part of it, but I wanted to know if he was going to include any commentary that wasn't on YouTube. There wasn't. It was just uncensored video clips, but it's just wild. It is wild to see this. I don't know what the hell David Dobrik was thinking, and I feel for Jeff. Ever since this happened, I have had a sore spot for Jeff, just because making a video should never equate to something this catastrophic happening. Jeff could have lost his life. He could have lost his eye. He could have had permanent brain damage to the point where he was unable to walk, talk, feed himself, anything for the rest of his life. There could have been really, really terrible, consequences to this. Not saying that what happened isn't, quote, bad enough, but I'm just saying that it could have been a full-on catastrophe. And, I'm glad that he's okay, but we also have to think of the mental health impact that this is going to have on him for the rest of his life. When he sees a photo of David Dobrik or sees a clip of a video, let's be honest, they're both on social media. We live in the age of social media where you can fall out with a friend, but can you fully avoid them if they're uber popular online? It's kind of hard to, fully disconnect, especially they both live in LA. They're both kind of in the same circle with all of these other YouTubers. It's just a really difficult situation. And I'm glad that Jeff is okay, but I also think of the other side of it. How is he feeling when the camera's off? What kind of complications has this created for his day-to-day life? I just think about all of that kind of stuff. The article says Wittek said when it was his turn to go, Dobrik allegedly began swinging the excavator too fast, which caused him to slam into it and get seriously injured. The social media star did not detail his injuries in the lawsuit, but previously spoke about them in a February 2022 video on his YouTube channel titled Dear David. I nearly died. I came an inch from death and an inch from going blind. I'll have lifelong brain injuries, Wittek claimed in the episode. He added, I'm not trying to lecture people. It's just an emotional thing. I had my face smashed in, and the one thing I asked from him was to not blame me for it. Leaked footage of the accident shows Wittek crashing into the crane and subsequently falling into the water before his friends rushed to his aid and shout, call the ambulance. In March, Dobrik called Wittek's accident the fucking worst. That day is the worst thing that ever happened to me. I would fucking do anything to take that day back, he said on his Views podcast. I wish it was me up there. It's the most unfortunate thing ever, and it's shitty. It's an accident. That's what it was. It's an accident. And neither of them responded to requests for comments for this article. For David to veil this as, oh, well, it's an accident, that's why they call it an accident. I understand that accidents happen. They happen all the time. But when there's so much irresponsibility and neglect and not caring for someone's safety to the point that they went to, and you guys, don't get me wrong, like, I grew up watching Jackass. Like, I know about these kind of shock stunt videos that are produced online, especially as of the last, call it, you know, I would say, what, 15 years or maybe close to 20. I understand that type of content creation, but with this, it was just so much neglect. I don't see how it could have ended in a good way. There were literally, you know, there was no safety protocol put in place. There were no EMTs or anyone that was even a fucking nurse there to be able to help people if they got hurt. It is an accident. You can call it that. But when I think of an accident, I think of someone running into the end of your back of your car when they're not paying attention. Like, don't get me wrong, you should be paying attention, but those are accidents. An accident would be falling off your bike, you know, falling off your skateboard. Like, those are accidents. There was some intent to not necessarily hurt Jeff, but it was very self-serving. It was, what is the craziest thing that I can do and not be on that rope, but use this content for clicks and views. And that is disgusting. So either way, in between all of the prior claims that David has been involved in or had his friends' involvement in this situation with Jeff, I am happy that Jeff is suing him. I said this over a year ago. He needs to sue David, get damages, get whatever he can out of David, because you can't just literally almost kill someone and then say, oh, well, it was an accident and it sucked. Yeah, of course it sucked, but what are you actually doing about it? He wasn't there for Jeff. He didn't offer, you know, any reasonable amount of money for literally almost killing his friend. So I think that he's going to act like he cares now because he's being sued. And I think that for public image, he has acted like he cared. But how much do you really care if you're not really stepping up to the plate? That's been my question. So I will be interested to see where this goes. I would like to get to the point where this really stupid and reckless content is either not able to be monetized or not able to be uploaded to YouTube, because you have people trying to copycat and trying to one up the last video that they did so that it gets more views, which means more money, and people are being hurt, and it's just, it's not even entertaining. Watching someone literally almost lose their life is not entertainment for me. I think that there's going to be some rules and regulations that are rolled out by YouTube, and I think that this situation, the one thing is, because it's gotten so much attention, I do think that it's also got YouTube's attention. Obviously, they demonetized David's channel for a short period of time. I think the monetization is back now, but I think that this is going to change a lot for the future of content creators doing dumb shit for clicks and views. So we'll see. I'm glad that Jeff is okay. I hope that he's okay when the camera is truly off and he's not, you know, online. I worry about that. And I'm sure that it's not easy for David either, but his inaction has really spoken to me loud and clear. So those are my thoughts for now. I will probably do an update as more info comes out, but for now, if you like the video, leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.